Saturday morning band of misfits. I love you all. All right, myself included. All right, go ahead and mute. Let's make sure you can see me. And we're gonna come down to let's just start on our backs, shall we? We'll have everybody supported the way they need to be supported today. So take your block the long way, horizontal. Lift your hips up, lay on your back. Lift your hips up and let your hips rest on the block. Keep it the lowest way for now. And just have your knees, your feet as wide as the mat and your knees knocking towards each other. For now, place one hand on your abdomen and one hand on your heart and start to breathe. Filling up, spreading the breath across the rib cage, the belly, the heart lifts. And the breath empties out. See if you can just, kind of check down the back side of your body to make sure that the glutes are not clenching, the toes are not clenching, your fingers, your face. Breathe in wide and deep across your body. And then empty out. So you can feel the breath pressing against your hands. So as the abdomen expands, as the chest expands, it pushes against your hands in a nice way. So you feel the complete fullness and then empty out. Draw the navel point slightly in, pelvic floor muscles tuck up. And do that a couple more rounds, just feeling the essence of your breath, feeling the fullness and the depth of your breath, the expanse. And if you want to stay where you are after this next breath, stay there, or release your arms. They could also go over your head, opening up your arms, your chest, your shoulders. I'm going to take the legs, turn them, line up your heels with your sitting bones. Excuse me. And then bring the soles of your feet together as the knees open up. And if that doesn't feel comfortable for you, find a place that is comfortable for you. Even if you don't want to be on the block anywhere, that's fine. Hi Maria, you made it. All right, so breathe in fully, deeply, completely here as well. You might get a little bit more expanse now with the arms overhead and the legs open. Just try to keep any tension from entering into your physical body. And of course, your mental body. Keep the tension out of there. One more breath. As you empty the breath, this time once again, stretch the legs out in front of you. Keep your arms over your head so you have the longest amount of space in your body here. So stretch them overhead or keep them slightly bent. Breathe down the right side of your body and then breathe down the left side of your body. And maybe even stretch it a little bit, right side, left side. And then find yourself into a comfortable, relaxed place on your back, on the block, or on the floor. And just allow the front of the hips to release a little bit as we prepare a little bit more. Another breath. Bend your knees. Place your arms down by your side. Inhale, lift your hips up from the block. Articulate your spine down. Bring the block off to your side. Draw your knees up to your chest. Lengthen out the spine so the tailbone stays on the floor. And just rock side to side on your back. Just release any tension that maybe you have from the block and make some circles in one direction then the next. And then come back to your center point. And then place your feet on the floor, cross one ankle in front of the other. Roll yourself up and take it on over to your hands and knees. Walk your hands under your shoulders and your knees underneath your hips. Pat it if you need it. Take your fingers, spread them nice and broad. Plant the fingers down. Feel the inner finger of the thumb and the forefinger pressing down into the hands, into the Arch your back and dip your belly. You can tuck your toes or not. Exhale, chin to chest, round and curl. Hang your head down. Inhale, tuck your toes, dip your belly, arch your back, broaden your collarbones. Exhale, round and curl. You might find a little bit more action moving through the hips as well, so feel free to start to make it a little bit bigger, a little bit more movement. If you want to stay stagnant, it's fine. It's not a bad stagnant. And round, and then maybe go forward and back a couple times, sitting back towards your heels, and then coming forward, dropping your hips, and go back. And then maybe you take this into some circular motions. And this should start to feel pretty good for everybody. Just getting our joints a little lubricated, which after, assuming you either slept or were in bed for a while, should feel pretty good. And then reverse it. Because I'm in bed, but I don't necessarily sleep, right? And that's me. And let's do one more of these, and then find your way all the way into child's pose here. Stretch your arms out in front of you. Breathe across the spaces of your body from top to bottom and side to side again. A little bit different than being on your back. Walk your hands over to the right side, as wide or as close as you'd like them to be today. Drop your shoulders, look under either arm, or look straight down to the floor. And just kind of getting some of the sleep out of our side bodies. Take a breath in. Lift your head, chest, walk over to the other side. Relax your shoulders, lift your ears. So while we want to expand, we don't want to really lift and have too much stress anywhere in particular, our neck and shoulders. And then inhale, lift up, walk back to the center. Come back to your hands and knees. Tuck your toes, put your feet as wide as your mat, and lift your hips into a wide-legged downward facing dog. So the pinky edges of your feet are on the edges of your mat. Bend your knees and move your hips back a little further. Keep the knees slightly bent, or maybe more than slightly bent. And then begin to walk your hands back to your feet, towards the back of your mat, folding over your legs. So bend your knees so the palms of your hands are on the floor in front of your toes. Head down. Weight shifts over your hands a little bit more. So it's out of your heels and towards the ball of your foot, however your heels stay down. Inhale, come to your fingertips and lengthen your spine, look towards the front of your mat. Place your hands on your hips or thighs with a flat back, rise up to stand. Roll your shoulders back and around. So keeping the feet as wide as the mat, feel the energy of the legs on the outer edges of your legs. So like you're pulling the mat apart from center. Inhale, sweep the arms overhead. Grab your left wrist with your right hand, palm to the ceiling. First two fingers can connect. Lift out of your waistline and up and over to the right side. And spin your shoulders open so your left shoulder pulls back a little bit more than the right. Feel the action still in your legs. Go a little bit deeper, but don't fall off your edge. Come back to center on the inhale. Exhale, switch. Right hand to the sky. Wrap your left hand around your wrist. Lift up and out of your waistline and lean to the left. Just go, a gentle amount first. Then rotate the torso, pull the right shoulder back, and then perhaps you have a little bit more space to move into. Never force it, especially this early in the day. Although it's not that early for some. Inhale, come on back up. Exhale, bring your arms into a cactus position, lift your heart up, eye gaze goes up. And then bring your arms behind your back, interlace your fingers, palms together, knuckles down. Lift your heart, squeeze your elbows together, palms together, maybe the wrists together. And then bend your knees and fold back down over your legs. Bend the knees a lot. Let your chest and thighs rest on each other. Head down towards the floor, arms up. release your hands on the floor in front of your feet, palms down if possible, shifting the weight forward out of your heels towards your hands. Inhale, lengthen your spine. Walk over to your right leg. Exhale, now hold on to the ankle or the shin or the calf. Bend your left knee and take your right arm up and twist. Gaze up. Hug your hips to the middle. Take your right arm behind your back. If that works, great. If it doesn't, don't worry about it. If you want a little bit more, take your left hand between your two legs and catch the right hand or wrist as you look up towards the right. So just a little bind. Take a breath, opening up the shoulders and chest. Now keep your hands bound or whatever you've got with your hands. Turn your torso back forward. Straighten your legs to the best of your ability here. Forward fold, opening up the shoulder. Gently release your hands back to the floor in front of your toes or your feet. Just trying to connect this brace a little better. Good. Now walk your hands over to your left leg. Right hand holds on, right knee bends. Left hand comes up to the hip and then in the air. And for some of you, you might bind the left arm behind your back, grab the inside of your right thigh perhaps. And again, some of you will take your right hand in between your two legs and wrap it around your right leg. And then keep the knee bent as you twist and open up to the left side. Good, now keep your arms bound if they are, just have your arms wherever they are, and turn your torso forward, straighten your right leg the best of your ability. Doesn't matter how straight it ever goes. Good, now release your hands gently, back in front of your toes, walk onto your fingertips, look forward, walk your hands out in front of you, keep your legs wide. Chest towards your thighs, biceps by your ears. Lift your knees up. Lift your heels up. Shift forward to a high plank, wide leg. Pull your belly up and in, crown of the head forward, tailbone back. Lower your left knee in the middle of your mat. Turn on your side, left arm down, right arm up. Pull the left hip up and in. Good. Now take your right arm on the top of your right thigh. Shift your weight into your left shin and lift your right leg up. And just reach your arm down the leg. Spin your torso open. Bend your top leg and reach for it. You might grab it, you might not. Open up your chest, your heart, your throat. Anywhere you want. You want the feet close or further away, your choice. Good, one more breath. Release the hand, release the foot. Right arm up, right leg down. Turn yourself around to the front of your mat. Lift your left shin off the floor, so you're on your left knee. Walk your hands a little further in front of you. And keep your right foot down on the floor. And just drop your chin and chest towards the floor. And come up for chaturanga. Lower the left leg, tuck the toes. Come back to your downward facing dog, so widen your legs again. Bend your knees and move your weight back towards your heels. Straighten the legs, breathe in. Good, shift forward to a plank, high plank, top of a push-up. Lower your right knee to the earth. Left toes down. Spin yourself onto your left side. Right arm stays down. Left arm comes up. Press the big toe, the little toe, the pinky toe to the floor. Lift out of your right side waistline. So pull the right hip up towards the left. And then take your left hand down the left thigh. Shift your weight into your right shin and lift your left leg up. Good. So you're reaching your hand towards your foot, lifting out of your waistline here. Bend the knee. And if you can grab it, grab it. Bring the heel towards the buttocks or kick it away. By the way, anybody who was in class yesterday, you might be feeling your waistline a little bit. Or maybe it's just me. Lift the bottom side of your torso up. One more breath. Good, gently release your foot, place it on the floor, left arm back up over the head. Exhale, hands to the floor, turn yourself forward. Good. Lift your right shin off the floor. Walk your hands a little bit more forward. Keep your toes down. Bend your arms. Little chaturanga push-up. And then step back to a downward dog. Once again, a wide dog. Breathe in, breathe out. Inhale onto your toes, come to a high plank. Shift a little forward, lower your knees, and lower your chest to the floor. Hug your elbows in by your side. Now the feet are going to stay as wide as the mat for this first set. So bring your chest up, bring your elbows in, and then lift your hands up so your back does the work, not your arms. Right? We got plenty of time for arms work in here. Crown of the head forward, tailbone back. Exhale, come down to the floor. Inhale, walk your hands just a little handprint back, and perhaps lift a little bit higher, keeping your hips still on the floor. Pull your shoulders back and down, push your pubic bone down, and we're gonna push right back to child's pose here. Touch the soles of the feet or the toes together, reach your arms out in front of you. Inhale and exhale. Good, rise up onto your hands and knees, tuck your toes, lift your hips, and now you can bring your feet into your natural downward dog, hips width apart position. But bend your knees so your hips can go back a little bit. Shift the weight out of the hands, wrists, shoulders, and then lower the heels to the floor. Breathe. Inhale and exhale. Inhale on your tippy toes. Soften your knees and look forward. Take a few steps to get to the top of your mat. Now our feet are a little bit closer, hips width apart, hands in between your 2 feet. But once again, shifting the weight. We're still shifting the weight forward so that the weight comes out of our heels and away from our knees. And hips are stacked over your heels. Grab opposite elbows, sway a little bit. If you've got the arms, switch the cross. And then find yourself into a center forward fold. Uttanasana. Let your head go, shake it out, yes and no. And then release the arms and let them dangle. Place the hands to your hips, lengthen your spine, rise up to stand. Release your arms, roll your shoulders back and around. Check out your feet. They should be facing forward, big toe, little toe, ball of the foot, heel of the foot on the floor. And then the same energy we had when we had a wider stance on our mat, as if we're pulling the mat apart from the center with our legs. So feel the engagement of the outer thigh. Bring your tailbone underneath you, broaden your collarbones, crown of the head to the sky. Open up your shoulders, palms face forward, spread your fingers just like we do on the floor. Inhale, sweep your arms overhead. Lift your heart, touch your palms. Exhale, forward fold, touch the floor, shins or your blocks. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift and rise up to stand. And if that doesn't work for your back, find your way up however you need to. Hands to prayer, arms by your side. Inhale, arms lift all the way overhead. Exhale, fold through center or open your arms into a swan dive, hands to floor, shins or blocks. Have your blocks nearby. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, right foot steps to the back of the mat, low lunge. So you can be on your knee or you can be on your toes. You can be on your block or you can be on the floor. It sounds like a Dr. Seuss book. Breathe in. Broaden your collarbones. I guess I'm getting used to reading some of those right now. Hug your left hip into the center. Back knee is lifted and strong, though the hips stay low. Take your left hand onto your left hip as you lengthen your spine, twist to the left side. And as you exhale, stack your shoulders. Breathe. Hug your hips back to a center line. Breathe in, breathe out. So lift your belly up and away from your thigh. The blocks, that's what the blocks are there for. They're going to get you to find more length and space in your body. One more breath. Exhale, lower your left hand. Straighten your left leg so you're in a wide stance here. Pull the left hip back, right hip forward. Breathe in, breathe out. Pull the length in your spine and then fold a little bit more over your legs. And you can always bring the blocks back further or higher if you're feeling particularly tight in your hamstrings or anywhere. One more breath. Now turn your right toes to the right, not all the way. Take your left hand on the block, highest height behind your calf, not your ankle, so it's a little further back. And then bring your right hand to your hip. As you turn to face the right side of your mat, stack your shoulders. Right arm comes up. Now, it's a little bit tricky, but think about pulling your right buttocks cheek towards your pelvis. Right, so we kind of level out the pelvis, right arm up. Breathe in, breathe out. Triangle pose from a wide straight leg stance. A little bit different than where we're going now. Look down at your left toes. Inhale, rise up, stand up. So stack your shoulders over your hips. Notice the right hip is a little higher, and if you want to shorten your stance here, begin to bring it in, and then hug the right hip towards the midline so your pelvis is back to even. Inhale. Exhale, lean towards the front of the room and reach out as far as you can go. Now you can use the same position with your hand on the block behind you or a block in front of you, on your shin, on the floor, depending, a lot of it sometimes will depend on your limb length. And then keep working that right buttocks towards the pelvis or towards your pubic bone. So you're leveling out the hips. Breathe in one more breath. As you look down, empty the breath. Take the next breath in to rise up and reverse this all the way back. Draw your right hip back to the left, so again, leveling out a little bit more. Inhale, come up. Turn your left toes to the right. Take your hands on your hips. Inhale. Lengthen your spine. Exhale, come about halfway down. Bend your knees enough. You can have your blocks nearby. So the tailbone and the head are in the same line. Release your hands under your shoulders or on a block. Good. And like we did a little earlier, walk your hands to your right leg and hug your hips to center. This time we're going to bend the right knee. Left hand stays down, right arm stays up. Open up. You can stay here or bind your arm behind your back again. Take a breath. Turn your torso forward. Straighten your right leg here. Fold down the center or make a little rotation. But pull the right hip to the center. Exhaling the breath, release your bind. Hands on the floor, lengthen your spine. Exhale, fold. Walk your hands to your left foot. Shin, ankle, thigh, wherever you are. Bend your left knee. Hold on with your right hand. Left hand comes up to the sky. Rotate your torso. And some of you might want to take a bind behind your back and even grab the inside of your right thigh, giving you a little bit more opening in your torso, allowing for a little bit more twist. Then look down, straighten your left leg, hug your hips in, and rotate maybe a little bit more, or keep looking down towards the floor. Choose what's appropriate for you. One more breath. Turn your torso center. Release your bind slowly. Hands underneath shoulders. Exhale, turn yourself to the front of your mat. Low lunge. Inhale, plant your palms, lift your left leg in the air, and open the hip out to the side. Stack your shoulders, breathe in, breathe out. And 4 on the floor. Stay in down dog, or take it forward to a plank. To your knees or straight arms, or straight legs I should say, chaturanga. Upward dog, downward dog. Inhale on your toes. Exhale, bend your knees, look forward. Take yourself to the top of your mat, halfway lift when you get there. And exhale, fold all the way over. Inhale, lengthen your spine, rise to stand. Bring the prayer to your heart center. Exhale, arms down by your side. Inhale, sweep your arms up. Fold your way, hands to floor, shins or blocks. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, step your left foot back. Right knee bends. Hands can be on the floor, on the blocks. Left thigh is nice and strong, like you're in a plank. Right thigh is as close to parallel as you could get it. Breathe in, breathe out. And then place your right hand on your hip as you turn to the right side. Hug your hips to center. Right arm comes up. Twist, open your heart. Keep hugging everything to the midline. Keep the back leg strong. Find space and move into it. One more breath. Good. Exhale, hands to the floor. Inhale, straighten your front leg. Pull the right hip back, left hip forward. Inhale. Exhale, fold. Take your right hand block, or the only block you have perhaps, in line with your calf. Turn your left foot on its side. Take your left hand to your hip. So your legs are straight. Now turn your torso so you stack. And then the left arm comes up. And for any reason this is still not enough, you can put your hand above your knee on your thigh and rest it there. Bringing your tailbone underneath you, so you're going to bring that left hip towards the left side, leveling it out, or the left glute. Take another round of breath here. Inhale and exhale. Look down at your toes. Inhale, bring yourself back up to standing. If you like to shorten your stance, bring it in a little bit, but level out your hips. So drop your left hip down and right hip up, so your hip bones point directly to your left side. Arms out, shoulder height. Inhale. Lengthen out of your waistline. Then begin to shift your torso forward. Right hand can come inside, outside, same position as it was before. Stack the left shoulder over the right. Spin your heart open. Tuck your tailbone underneath you as you move your left hip towards the left side. So I'm not bringing my hip this way towards the side. I'm tucking it underneath me and bringing it, I should say, in line with your pelvis. Breathe in. The left glute. Breathe out. Good. Look down, inhale. Rise up, reverse this. Right arm up, left arm down. Move your left hip to the right side. Inhale, stand up, turn your right toes to the right. Hands to your hips. Lengthen your spine, inhale. Exhale, hinge forward. Stop halfway and bend your knees a lot. A lot, so that you can maybe get your hips in line with your knees. Then release your hands underneath your shoulders. Drop your seat lower. Good. Walk your hands beneath your feet or behind your feet. Turn your fingers away from you. Drop your seat down. You can rock it a little side to side. Inhale. Straighten your legs. Fold. Be careful here. It's a little easier to hyperextend your knees for some reason. So I want you to shift a little bit of the weight forward into the balls of the feet. Head down towards the floor. Thanks, Siri. One more breath. Inhale, look forward, walk your hands out forward. So a little bit further in front of you, you're off your mat. And then send the weight backwards, but don't let the knees go behind the hips. So shift a little weight or softly micro bend your knee. Take your right hand to your left foot shin ankle and just begin to twist. And then squeeze the hips towards the center. So the hips come level and return through the center. One more big, healthy, beautiful breath. Empty the breath. Hands in front. Inhale. Exhale, chest to thighs, left hand to outside of right thigh, shin. Hug your hips in. Inhale back to center. Exhale, walk your hands underneath you. Turn to the front of the room. Low lunge. And then step your right leg in the air, three-legged. Open up your hip. Take it to a 4 on the floor, downward dog. Inhale onto your toes, shift forward to high plank. Choose your way back to downward dog, or just stay in dog. And take some of the guessing work out of it. Hips up in the air. Bring your feet closer together. Inhale onto your toes. Right leg high in the sky. Step it all the way through. Help it out. Inhale, hands on floor or blocks. Straighten your front leg and bring your back foot in a little bit closer. So you shouldn't be on a tightrope. Right hip pulls back, left hip pulls forward, and then you got to kind of level out the hips. So if you can't see yourself in a mirror, sometimes it's nice if you put a block on your back. It'll fall off if you're not very level. Breathe in, breathe out, and then fold over your right leg. Keep the spine long, no rounding of the spine. Good. And I can look in the mirror, my camera mirror, and notice some not so level hips on myself. Take another breath. Now this time, bring your hand on the inside of your right foot, maybe towards your ankle, above your shin, around your shin. Right hand on the inside, left hand to your hip, lengthen your spine, inhale. And then rotate to the left. And this time you can shift the left hip out to the side a little bit. Stack your shoulder, left shoulder moves up. So it's a shortened triangle. Really, I don't know, it's kind of a hybrid pose. But keep working at lifting the waistline up and in. Maybe your eye gaze goes up, maybe down. One more breath, keep the length in the torso. Now as you keep the length in the torso, begin to spin it down to the floor. Let's do this on the inside today. Left hand on the inside of the block, the foot. Right hand to your hip, turn to your right side, and bring your right arm up over your shoulder. Hug your hips together. Breathe in, breathe out. So look for the length in your spine first, then make your rotations. Take another breath. Now keep your right arm up, look down at the floor. Exhale, step your left foot forward so it's in line with your right foot. Bend your knees, keep the right arm up. Once again, take the right arm behind your back. And maybe the left arm underneath, in between. And you come into your twist once again. Bending both knees for now. Turn your gaze down. And then straighten and fold over your legs. And then release your arms, fold. Chin to chest, roll up through your spine. Arms come all the way overhead. Exhale, bring your hands to your heart center. Good. Release your arms, take a breath in. Empty the breath, hands to the floor, shins or your blocks. Halfway lift, inhale, and take yourself through a vinyasa sequence, or just move to downward dog. Bring your feet a little closer. Inhale on your toes, left leg lifts. Exhale, look forward, step it through. Straighten your front leg. I'm going to use blocks. Step your back foot in about 2 to 3 feet from your front foot. Inhale, lengthen. And exhale, fold over your left shin. Big toe, little toe. Breathe. All right, having a little wardrobe malfunction. All right, breathe in, breathe out. Relax your shoulders, big toe pressing down firmly into the earth. Inhale, lengthen your spine, bring your block or your hand on the inside of your left foot. Take your right hand to your hip, stack your shoulders, and then take your right arm up. Lift your knees up, so make sure they're strong. Lift the knees up rather than pulling them back. So keep yourself from hyperextending. And then rotate the torso. I'm still thinking about the lift underneath my left side torso. Breathe in and out. One more big breath. Look down as you exhale. Right hand on the inside or on the block. Adjust your hips, lengthen your spine, and take your left arm up. Twist. Good. So a twisted triangle pose or revolve triangle pose. Finding the length in your spine. Hug your hips to midline. Breathe in. Empty the breath out one more time. Good. Exhale. Bring your, keep your left arm up. Step your right foot outside of your right hand. Bend both knees. And then decide if you want to take one arm bind, left arm, or the right arm goes underneath between the two legs. Twisting, bending, folding, detoxifying our bodies. And then straighten your legs and fold. Hugging the hips to midline. Good. If you're bound, gently release. Hands to the floor. Inhale, halfway lift. Hands to your hips. Rise up to stand. Good. Bring your feet closer together. Bring your arms down by your side. Inhale, sweep the arms overhead. Exhale, bring your hands to your heart. Excuse me. Shift your weight to your left leg and bring your right leg up. Good. Now take your arms underneath your right thigh, flex your foot, point your foot, roll through the ankle. And then take your knee open to the side, use your right arm. Take your left arm out to the side. And then bring your foot into your inner thigh, or half lotus, and bring your hands to your heart center, tree pose. Stretch the arms and grow your branches when you're ready. Hug your left hip in towards your midline. Squeeze everything, it's like you're squeezing everything to the center. One more breath. Good. Release your leg. Turn it forward. Place it on the floor. Bend your knees, chair. Weight back in your heels. Exhale, fold over your legs. Inhale, rise, stand, bring the arms with you. Exhale, bring prayer to your heart center. Arms by your side. Inhale, weight into the right leg, lift the left leg up. Hold underneath the thigh. Flex and point, roll through the ankle. Hug your right hip to center, and then open your knee out to the side. You can take one hand, or you can place the foot now into your tree pose. So bringing your heel as high toward the groin as you can, or below the knee is fine. Bring your hands to heart, pull your right hip to center. Stretch the arms up for your branches to grow. Find solid rooting in the earth. Breathe, that's it. Yeah, hold on, it's good. Bring your hands to prayer. Lift your leg away from your body, hold it. Bring it center. Arms are up again. Leg down, chair. Exhale, hands down, fold. Inhale, rise, halfway lift. Exhale, step, step, high plank, pause. Inhale. Exhale, halfway down, or back to your knees, or down dog, hips up. Breathe. Take your feet about hips width apart if they're not. Inhale, shift forward to your plank. Lower your right knee to the floor. Turn on your side. We've been here. Left arm up. Good. Now take your left arm down the left thigh. Look down. Keep your left foot grounded and lift your right knee. Good. Take your right knee and foot to the left side. lift your hips up and open up into a dancer's bridge or a wild thing. Call it what you want. Now the blade edge of the right foot can be on the floor, but lift your right hip up. One more breath. Good. Rock on. Ancient. Good. Hands down. Square your hips. Take your right leg back up in the air. Bend it, open it. Down dog. Breathe in, breathe out. Inhale to high plank. Lower your left knee to the floor. Spin it around. Right arm comes up. Good. Right arm down the right thigh. So lengthen your leg, lengthen your arm. Put some weight into your left hand. See if you can lift your left knee up. If you can, great. If you can't, great. And then stretch it out to the left side, or right side. And then lift your arm up, hip up. So again, you can have a knee on the floor and just do a variation of that side plank. Keep pulling your left hip up, up, up. Exhale, hand down, square it off. And then draw it back, three-legged. 4 on the floor, down dog. Inhale, high plank. Exhale, lower your knees. Lower your belly all the way to the floor. Inhale, lift your heart. Exhale, let it go. Take your arms down by your sides. Palms face down. Shoulders pull back. So pull the shoulder blades back together and down towards your tailbone. Now this time our feet are closer together. They don't have to touch. Push through the top of your foot shin. Lift your knees up so your thighs, your quads are active. And then just lift your torso off the floor. Take a breath. And then lift your legs off the floor. Reach your fingers towards your feet. Lift up, locust pose. Breathe in. Good. Stay there or exhale, bend your knees and catch your feet. Lift up into your bow pose. Inhale. Exhale. Try not to let the knees go too wide. Try to keep them closer together, touching maybe, but closer together for another breath. Breathe in. And as you exhale, come back down. Push your hips to your heels. Sit all the way back. Back to your child's pose. I'm going to just adjust my mat. Good. All right, bring yourself up to sitting. Roll your feet off to either side. And come back to the center of your mat. So take your feet as wide as your mat. I can't believe how much my pants match my mat. I think it's very important. All right, so your legs are in a straddle, but not a big straddle. One hand on either side of the legs, or maybe even a hand behind you to keep you lifted, or you're sitting on a block. So E.T., maybe change your camera if you can. Turn your toes up towards your face. I love your feet, but I'd love to see your whole body. Okay, great. Inhale, lengthen your spine and creep your fingers out towards your feet, but keep the spine long. Inhale. And can you keep creeping without rounding your spine? Maybe grab your big toe or your foot. Inhale. Exhale. Pull against your toes, push against your fingers. Inhale, lengthen, lengthen, lengthen. Good, gently release. Take your right leg, bring it in line with your sitting bone so it's not into your hip. Left hand behind you, inhale. Right arm up. Reach inside of your right leg and reach to the outside of your left foot. Usually we do this foot with this leg a little bit closer. Today we're keeping it nice and wide. So bring your right shoulder as far forward as you can. And then see if you want to wrap your arm in front, other arm behind, lift your spine, twist. So this can be done as a fold or a twist or both. And maybe you have a nice grip on your thigh or your shin so that the right leg, maybe heel comes off the floor. Inhale back to center, release your hands, feet, and release your arms. Take your feet, now bring the foot in the inner thigh and walk through the center. Keep it as long as you can, a long spine as you can. So a little bit easier with our leg out to the side to get down the center. One more breath here. Inhale, walk it back in. Good. Release your right leg, shake it out. Give a little love. Keep your right foot to the outer edge of the mat. Bring your left leg in line with your sitting bones so it's wide enough away from, it's at least a block away from your inner thigh. Right hand behind you, lift you up, left arm up, inhale. Exhale, reach to the inside of the right foot, or the outside is fine, but reach inside of your left leg. And you want to get your shoulders as far forward as you can if you want to try for that bind. So the left arm comes in front of the shin, perhaps. The right arm goes behind you. Inhale, lengthen your spine, ground your sitting bones, and turn to the right side. So some of you will have a nice secure grip here where maybe even the heel of the left foot lifts off the floor. Inhale and exhale. And just notice, because you're really balancing on your sitting bones, are you only on your left sitting bone now, or are you on both? The right leg is active. One more breath. Good. If your foot's in the air, let it come down gently. Release your bind. Take your left foot, bring it on the inside of the right thigh. Inhale, walk your hands forward, and exhale, fold through the center. I'm supporting my left knee with a block. Sometimes I feel that I need that assistance. Don't want my knee to be in such a position. Too much flexion. Inhale and exhale. And still here. Think about having that right sitting bone grounded a little bit more. One more breath. Inhale, walk it back in. Lift your chest. Exhale, release the left leg slowly. Rub it out, shake it out. Have a block nearby. Keep your legs wide. Lift yourself up to that long spine. Reach your arms out in front of you. Maybe, as if you're holding a block, or maybe hold a block. Take it down with you. Exhale, chin to chest, round your spine. And roll down slowly, one vertebrae at a time. Use your feet like brakes. Right? Really engage the legs, bring the heels into the earth, and scoop out. Do not miss your waistline here. Tailbone, lowest part of your back, middle back, waistline perhaps, shoulder blades, all the way down. Let your head rest on the floor. Bend your knees. Put your feet in line with your sitting bones. Point your pubic bone to the sky. Lift your hips up. Take your block on one of the three heights. So some of you would like to go up higher. That's fine. Just make sure it's okay for you. If you're feeling any tension, put it on its lowest height or go into a flat back, into a bridge. So again, check out that you're not clenching the glutes. Okay, take your feet as wide as the mat. Let your knees knock towards each other. If you're on the highest height, you might not get quite as much. And then bring your feet in a little closer. Let the knees open out, just like we did in the beginning. Bring your legs back to center and see if you can stretch your legs out in front of you. So if you're on your highest block, you will have a really big arch in your back and a really big stretch in the front of your hips. That may be too much for some of you, so you'll lower the block. Or you might not take your legs all the way out. Good. Breathe in, breathe out. And it's really hard here, but can you really let go of your glutes clenching in? Take another breath. Bend your knees, place your feet on the floor. Lift your hips up and articulate your spine down, one vertebrae at a time. Bring your knees towards your chest, happy baby pose. Hold the bottoms of your feet underneath your thighs, rock on your spine, side to side, forward, back. And then draw your knees together. Open your arms to the T. Shift your hips right, let your knees fall to the left. You could be supported with a block between your knees, on top of your, or underneath your thigh. You choose. Inhale, draw your knees back to center. Shift your hips to the left, move your knees, let them fall to the right. Just let this be a surrender. No force. We've done a lot of force up till now. We don't need more. Only gravity. Inhale back to center. Hug your knees all the way to your chest. Round and curl your spine. Pull yourself in half. And exhale, head down, legs down out in front of you. Stretch your arms all the way overhead. Reach the right side of your body long. We did this early on. Reach the left side of your body long. And then moving from your center point, everything reaches away from it. Take a big breath. Empty the breath and bring your arms by your side, palms face up. Allow your body to melt into the floor. Of course, if there's anything else that you need or want to do when you're preparing for this Shavasana, this would be the time to do it. So take a few moments to settle in here. I'm going to be leaving you shortly, and so I want you to stay in your Shavasana for as long as you can. Maintain some stillness in your peace, in your mind, and your body. So just guide yourself from head to toe, toe to head. Notice if there's any tension anywhere. And let the tension slip from your body as the breath moves in and out. And feel the ebb and the flow of the breath like a wave. Inhale, rise, the chest rises. Exhale, it falls. And so it becomes like a soothing little lullaby for your body. And then all thoughts become your breath or still. Allow your body to melt, allow your mind to surrender. And if you're still at home, stay fit, stay healthy, get vaxxed, wear a mask.